Hey guys, welcome back. If you're fans of the channel, I really appreciate the support. If you're not, I'm all about bow fishing. If you guys need any help at all with equipment, gear, what have you, you might as well go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to be having a lot more of these videos on gear, and I want to help you guys out. Today we're talking about reel seats. Now, I know you're going to ask right away, well, what can I do to a reel seat? I mean, all it is a piece of aluminum and a threaded slide, right? Well, how many of you guys have a hard time touching a button? Or like on this H-Series riser Oneida, the bow that you use, it sets the reel way out there. Now, somebody with smaller hands may not be able to reach that button. So today I'm going to show you how to be able to move the reel a lot closer back to your fingers and make it a lot more user-friendly. What we're going to end up with, now here's my Black Eagle. As you can see, that's much closer. So when I have my hand on the grip, I've only got about a 1/4 inch to reach out and touch the button. That allows me, I can hit the button with all different appendages, and works a lot better for me, and I hope it will for you too. First off, we got to get this reel seat adjusted. Now, you can't just go in here and cut this off anywhere, okay? You have to have enough threads on here to be able to get the reel seat, or to be able to get the reel itself on and off. So what I like to do, I don't know if you can see this or not, but what I like to do is back the rings back to where I can just barely turn the reel sideways, okay? If I can turn the reel sideways, then that means I can get it on and off, okay? That's just a little too tight. There we go. I'm going to tighten my rings down right into place so they don't move, and I'm going to check it one more time, because once we cut this, we'll never get it back. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to get this reel seat off. We know we're going to cut this reel seat down, and we're not going to use this outer part. But this aluminum insert goes almost right about 1 inch deep into this more or less aluminum pipe. Okay, now there's a stainless steel roll pin, as you can see, on both sides, and it goes all the way through. It goes through the center bolt, through the aluminum insert, and out the other side. Now there's a handful of ways that we can get that out and get the insert out. You can cut the whole thing off right where you're planning to shorten it up, or you can take, say, an 1/8 inch or a 3/16 drill bit and drill out the stainless steel pin about 1/8 of an inch deep on both sides. Now, the drill method and pulling it apart is a lot more difficult, but it can be done with a drill and a good vise to be able to hold your nut, to be able to pull that apart. It can be done. Just take your time. Me, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this off. Yeah, there we go. That's not too bad. Now that we've got this apart, you can see what the inside looks like. All this is an aluminum insert going into an aluminum pipe or tube. Okay, the green anodized is the threaded part, of course. But as I was cutting around here, all I was doing was just barely cutting through the threaded part. Now, as you can see, our stainless pins, we still need to get this piece off, so I'm going to put this in the vise and cut right next to one of these pins, and we should be able to get the rest of this off. Now I think for this cut, I'll go ahead and use a cutoff wheel. It's just a little bit more controlled. So all we need to do now is get this this bottom piece off. We've cut all the way through there, and just take something and push it in there, push it off. Generally it'll break on the other side where the roll pin was. Just however you can grab a hold of it. There we go. There's that side. And there's the other side. So all we have to do now to this is grind our stainless steel pins off. Now we're going to get the other side. Now, guys, don't go hammering on this until you got a block in place. But you know, if you were lucky enough to cut this without marring it up, you know, don't mar it up now by busting it with a hammer. But reach your finger in here and make sure there's no real big burrs on the inside. Okay, any burr is going to prevent this from going into place. But just line it up and take the time to run your nut all the way back up to the top of the thread. If you hit these threads with a hammer very hard, you're going to booger them up too, and you're not going to be able to use your reel seat. But it shouldn't take a whole lot. Just run it down to where it's right about flush or almost flush, and that's going to be pretty good. Well, there you go. We've welded our insert to our outside, and we didn't booger up the threads. Now, I got to let this cool a little bit, and we're going to take a file and clean it up, and we should be good to go. Here's a little tip for you guys when you're finishing metal for a weld, and you want it to be absolutely as smooth as possible. Take a rag or a little cotton towel and rub it across where you think there'll be sharp edges. Everywhere there's a sharp edge, it'll pull out a few little fibers from your cloth. And I want this to be as smooth as possible. I don't want it even to be possible to where it'll cut my line. See, I got one little sharp edge right there. Other than that, looks pretty good. Well, there you go, guys. After we welded it, I went back and cleaned up the very end of my threads with a file until I could get this ring to work back on there, because I wanted my reel seat extra short. As you can see, I've got that within a ½ inch of my finger, and I can actually push the button with my knuckle now. Now that's how I like the reel. If you don't need it that short, just don't cut quite as much off. But you know, measure out what you're going to cut before you cut it, and you know, shorten up your reel seat. That's how I like it. I'm sure it'll benefit some of you guys out there too. But you do not have to weld that. That's the method that I prefer. Actually, welding is probably the hardest thing to do. But you guys are more than welcome to drill a 16th hole and pick you up some 16th stainless steel pins from a hardware store. Drive them in there and smash them down. And then once again, go over the tips of them with a file. That way you can get your back ring all the way off. Well, guys, that's it for today. As you can see, we were able to move our reel much closer to our hand now, and we can even reach out there and push that button with our knuckle. That's how I like to have a reel set up. If you guys think that could benefit you, you guys are more than welcome to go and get some 3/8 long, maybe 16th diameter stainless steel pins. Drill yourself a hole on either side, drive it in with a hammer, and that will do the same thing as what I just did welding. Guys, as always, don't forget to wear your personal flotation devices. It could save your life. Shoot straight and shoot often. come right back here and see me. I'm White River Rambo. Be safe.